Kia ora koutou, day 58 and back with another recap of today's trades. I took 4 trades this morning, 2 solid ones, 1 early exit and 1 that caught me off guard. Ended the day with a small green, but that red trade definitely dragged down the total. Let's get into it. So when I first got up today, I think INEO, LITM were sort of the leading gainers. They didn't look very good to me, so I didn't trade those at all. And then LTRY popped up just after 7 o'clock. And I'll just put the video here. So it popped up here from around 168, 170 up to around 220. So I watched it pull back here to around 199. And that probably could have been a nice aggressive entry off the VWAP, but I didn't take that entry there. Wasn't sure if it was going to pull back, keep pulling back through here, so I wasn't quite sure if this stock was going to hold up. It did. It held that level and then pushed higher up to 220. So it would have in the end been a decent trade, around 20 cents. Then it pulled back here and pushed again to 226, but I didn't take that pullback here. I wasn't sure about this candle. A lot of selling pressure bringing it back down to a kind of a shooting star doji. So yeah, I wasn't sure about that. And I'll just play the video actually because double speed. So I thought it's coming down to VWAP. It looks like it's holding VWAP, it's buying back up off of VWAP on this first red candle. Lighter volume as well on the red. So I thought, no, I'm going to give it a go and I'll get in here around 206. It's probably a bit early actually, to be honest. It's making a second red candle. And I should have waited for the bottom of that second red candle and actually got in probably it's only 6 cents, but that can make a difference sometimes, especially when I'm at this price level anyway. I probably could have gone in around $2, 201, 202, somewhere around there. That would have been a better entry off the 9 EMA. But I'm in at 206 and it's still pulling back, but it's holding $2, and now it's pushed back up to 205, and good push up, strong push up to 209, 210, 211. I'm getting ready to sell because my sell price is coming up. There's quite a few sellers at 210, and yeah, there's quite a few sellers on it. So I pushed up to 212 there for just a little bit, and then started pulling back again. So I decided that I would cut it short, and it pushed again to, well actually, that's right, it pulled right back again. You can see there's some bigger sellers on the ask that came in there to push the price back down. It did start rallying again. So I held through that second pullback here, which really I should have gotten out earlier. But it started pushing back again. And there it goes, pushing back over my entry, back to 210, 211, and I'm getting ready to sell again. And here it is at 210, and I'm waiting for it hopefully to break. It's not breaking. It's a bit of red coming through again, and pushes up to, it's struggling to break 210. So when it hit 211, I was like, nah, I'm out. And so I sold on the bid at 210, and then it broke. So it hit my target price there, 216, dropped back down to 213, 212, and pushed again to about 215. I think it got to a high of 217 in the end. But, you know, I may not have got 216. I probably would have got 213 or 214 or something like that in the end. So only 4 cents difference really. So yeah, but that was my first trade. In at 206 was with 131 shares, out at 210 for a $5.24 profit. So still green trade for the start of the day, and was happy with that. Then I traded BCTX. So BCTX popped up around 7:30, and it pushed all the way through here, and I did see it I think from around $4, $3.90, somewhere around that. I can't remember if I saw that pullback or not. I don't think I did. Actually, let's bring up the video, and yeah, here it is here. So BCTX, I missed the majority of that move up there, and yeah, nice big break there, and you know, probably should have been buying in around 410 for that break to 456, or at least for the break of the previous high. But I missed that, so I looked at buying in on the pullback. But once again, the problem is this candle here, big topping tail, and pulling back. I got a bit aggressive on this entry. So as it pulled back here, it held around 416, 418. So that was probably the entry there, and the exit at 434. That would have been a good trade. But I didn't take that trade. It pulled back again on light selling, like and I still didn't get in here at 4.8. You know, it held around 418. So that was sort of where I was looking at getting in on the low for a, you know, pushback, maybe break the high. So this is where I got in at 418 on the second red candle, looking for it to hold up, and it did hold for a second, and then it dropped. So when it dropped here, I should have been out straight away, but I didn't. I thought, oh, it's going to hold the 9 EMA and then push, but you know, it's not coming in. There's a lot of red coming in, bit of green coming in on the tape, but then a lot of red, and it just dumps down to the 20 and then dumps down to 379, and I get out at 389, my exit. So I got out around here. So really I should have cut it straight away when it dipped down to the 9 EMA and didn't really look like it was going to hold. I should have got out there definitely once it sort of dipped below that line. So not really good management on that red trade. That was a 29 cents per share loss with 64 shares, so I was down $18.56 on that trade. So yeah, definitely an avoidable loss there. Looking at that big topping tail candle, not waiting for confirmation that it's actually going to go back up. You know, buying the dip on the pullback was probably not the best idea on this one. So that was BCTX, and that didn't recover at all after that. That was done. So that was the trade that put me down around $13 on the day. Next trade I took was on VCIG. VCIG. And this had been on my watch list throughout the morning. It had popped earlier on in pre-market up to 422 and had basically been below VWAP for most of pre-market, and definitely, you know, when I started trading around just before 7 o'clock, it was just sitting below VWAP the whole time. Still on my watch list, as it had a stock that had pushed in pre-market. So I traded it when it hit my scanner around, what time was that? Around just after 8 o'clock it popped up, broke through that pivot point. And I saw on my scanner that it was moving, and I looked at where it was, and it was pushing up through to VWAP. So I took the pullback on VWAP. So it pushed up with volume here. Actually, I'll bring up the video. Let's find it on that. VCIG, here we go. Yeah. So I saw it here, looking to come in here in VWAP. It breaks VWAP with volume. So the volume's increasing here as it breaks through VWAP. And then it pulls back down. I am looking at getting in around, if it holds this level here on VWAP. So just it's putting in a red candle, so I'm waiting for it to see how far it pulls back. I've got an order ready to go for the ask, and it pulls back here, buys back up, and that's where I enter here. So I'm in at 352 for 73 shares. And now I'm looking for it to push back and, you know, come back up to this level at 365 and possibly break through that level here. So my price target's around 365 or higher. So there's lighter volume now after that pullback, but green candle there, it looks like it's holding this level now around just below VWAP. Pushes up, breaks this candle here, some more volume comes in, and then pushes and breaks through, and this is where I'm like looking on the level 2, it's pushing up 367, 368, 370, and I'm like, no, that's 370 is good, I'll get out on the bid at 369. So that was good trade, good hold, nice read of level 2 on that one, and I was out for a profit of $12.41 on that trade. I didn't buy back in here. I just wanted to see what it would do, because this had been kind of grinding under VWAP all pre-market and hadn't really done anything. So it had sort of, I think it had popped up in after hours yesterday or the day before. So the news was just sort of like continuation from after hours news, and it didn't look very strong. So I didn't take another trade on it, and that was the right decision. It rolled over, broke down through VWAP, and that was pretty much it for that stock. But I managed to make the most of the opportunity that it gave me, and you know, got in and out quickly and made my profit on it. So that was my best trade of the day, and I thought that was a strong hold through that move and a confident exit. So I felt really good about that trade. So because that was such a confident trade, I took another trade. Well, actually I didn't. The problem was that I was now only down on the day. I was still red on the day, about 90 cents, I think. Coming into the open, I thought I'd watch LTRY. So I had been watching, actually I had been watching IMNN, because this was probably the main stock of the day that a lot of people were trading, and it was really the one that was in focus. And this thing started off around 50 cents for 44 cents and broke up, you know, I first saw it on the scanner and it broke up to 65 cents here, and it pulled back down here to the 20 EMA and bounced off of that level at 53 cents, around 53 cents, and pushed back up to 63. I actually watched it through this level here and almost took a trade when it broke VWAP here. But I really struggle to trade these penny stocks. I find it difficult to read the tape. I find it difficult to read the level 2. The orders are so big, they're so thickly traded. I don't know whether they're at this, you know, at the end of a move or not, and I find it really difficult to trade them. And because, you know, sometimes they go 2 or 3 cents and then drop 2 or 3 cents, and you know, you're buying, you know, bigger share size or in them to make a profit, and I often lose. My accuracy on these penny stocks is terrible. I tend to lose a lot on these types of trades, so I don't trade them. So I just watched this sort of throughout pre-market go from 50 cents right up to $1. And as it came up to about 80 cents, I flicked over to it and watched it again, and I thought, well, this is probably going to go to $1. So I really did think about getting in again around this level here, but I missed the entry here off the low at 82 cents, and then it sort of jumped to 90, and I was like, oh, I don't know. I think I'll just leave it alone. So I didn't take that. And then when it broke $1, I didn't take that trade either, because last time I took one of these stocks that broke through $1, that was a penny stock, I got in for the push, like on a pullback like this here. I got in last time at around $1, looking for it to break back to $1.14, $1.10, and it reversed on me and dumped. So with that in my brain, I didn't want to take you know, an entry here on the pullback, which would have been a long hold, to be honest, holding through this consolidation period here for it to break up to $1. What's that? $1.08 or something like that, $1.07. So that was tough. But it did break higher, obviously. It actually went up to a high of $1.48 in pre-market before it sort of rolled over into the open. Did a few pushes, but pretty messy, looked pretty messy through here. So yeah, didn't trade this at all, but this was for, you know, this was a leading gainer pretty much, or very active stock, actively traded stock this morning. Yeah, MLGO was another one I think that popped up for a little bit as well, but yeah, didn't interest me, that one either. So coming into the open, I actually switched back to LTRY. So LTRY, I watched coming into the open, and it was sort of down below VWAP, and it was sort of slowly grinding up here, and it was almost like people were building, or you know, that they were building a position in here as it popped up here and sort of grinded into the open. I was kind of surprised that it didn't kind of flush first or sell off a bit first before going, but it ripped pretty much straight away right through VWAP. And my plan was to actually take an entry at around $2, $2.05 for the break of VWAP. But it broke it so quickly and then pulled back, I didn't get in. I was just worried it was too soon. I didn't want to trade the first 3 candles of the open because they can be very volatile, and often I've been caught out on the wrong side of a trade, getting in thinking it's going to, you know, skyrocket up, and then it actually just bottoms out and, you know, flushes, and I end up with a massive loss. So I didn't want to trade the first 3 candles here, and then where I should have been getting in here at 227 for the break, or 225, or as it broke up through here, I missed that completely. And then I just felt like I was chasing it. So in the end, I didn't take a trade on LTRY, and this was probably the best opportunity I had to get a decent trade out of it. Sort of pulled back, and then it was on the back side of the move after that. And there were dip trades here that could have taken, but I am trying not to do dip trades on the back side because I tend to mess those up too. And I want to be trading, you know, here on the front side of the move, not as it's coming down, trying to buy dips like this one here and catching these rallies. Because knowing me, I tend to buy dips like here and be holding, looking for it to break back up and end up in a flush like that. So I stayed out of it when it got on the backside and didn't trade it. As it pushed back up though, up through here, it just, like, it did offer some opportunity to get a small trade or a small win, but with the lower volume, I just didn't want to trust it, and I left it alone. So I did watch it through here for a little while, but then DOUG popped up, and I'm quite surprised I traded this, to be honest. It popped up here and put in some massive red candles as it sort of looked like it must have halted here. Yeah, it halted here up at 258. Looks like it came out of that halt higher and then made a high of 320 and then sold off. So must have opened up here at 320 and then just sold off completely, and then just kept selling all the way down to, you know, 257, and then it sort of held and then sideways along VWAP. And as it came back up, I noticed on the scanner, on my scanner, that it was actually back above 280, and I knew when I saw it last it was breaking down below VWAP 270, 260. So when it popped back up here at 280, pushed up to 298 and was going to hit $3, I thought, well, if it pulls back, I will get in on the pullback, looking for a pushback to $3. So that's what I did. I got in here at not quite the bottom of that candle. I was looking at coming down to the 9 EMA, but I got filled at 290. On this candle here on the pullback, and then it pushed back up to 296, and it hit 296, I think, and then started pulling back, and I hit the sell button because there were some orders that came in that I thought were quite big orders, and I didn't think it would break 296. The order sat there for a second at 296, and then it pulled back, and then I thought about cancelling the order and actually selling out straight away, but then it pushed again straight through my order at 296 to 301, and I got filled at 296. So no lucky fills at high or anything like that, and it took me out at 296. So very quick trade this one, and when I got in it, I thought it was strong enough that it might push back to the high up to 320. But when I was reading the level 2 or watching the level 2 as it was pushing here, I just didn't think then it had the strength to do that. And it got to $3, but immediately rejected off $3 and pulled back. And then I don't think it just basically went sideways after that. So I didn't trade that anymore either. Once it sort of went into the sideways pattern, I was like, no, that's it. And then that was it for me. I, thought, no, if I take another trade, I'm pushing it. And really it's coming into what, that trade was at 10:48. So nearly 11 o'clock now. And, I had already been trading since 6:45. So it was really after the end of my session, and I thought, no, it's time for me to shut it down. And everything was pretty slow for me anyway around this time. So I just thought, no, I'm really risking taking a bigger loss if I start pushing it again. So I decided to call it a day. So 4 trades today, 3 green, 1 loss. My loss was much bigger than all my green, much bigger than the rest of my green trades. I did end up with a small profit of $4.67, but after fees and on the trades, I will probably be down $1, maybe $1.50 after fees. I pay around $1, just over $1 per entry and exit. So per trade, say on this one here, that would be about $2.09 on 131 shares. And these would be maybe a little bit less, but definitely $2 at least. So $246, down $6. So yeah, I'd be down, $1.40 something, I think. Not good at maths. That's why I do spreadsheets. So on the week, at the moment, green $19.60. I do have to do the fees as well, so possibly it'll be pretty close. It'll be pretty much a break-even week. So it might be a little bit green or a little bit red once I add in the fees for the last few days. Yeah, so that's 246. Oh, maybe it's just, have I done the fees for that day? I can't remember. 21st of May. So I haven't put the fees in since here. So that's 3, 6, 10 trades. So that's about $20. So yeah, it'll be just red, just under break even. So not sort of what I was planning for this week. What's positive is that there's more green days than red days, but it's still the same story that my red days are just way bigger than my green days. And it shows on my stats too. My risk reward ratio up here for the month of May is, if you look at this, is 0.33. And that means I need to have a 74% accuracy to actually be profitable. So this here works out what my accuracy needs to be based off of my risk reward ratio. And this is my actual accuracy at the moment. So my actual accuracy is 63.33%, and my profitable accuracy rate is 75% basically. So I either need to get a high accuracy, or I need to have better risk reward ratio on my trades. So, you know, hold for bigger winners, or, you know, don't, you know, get losers. So really, I think my accuracy is okay. It's really just those controlling the losing trades and making sure they are small relative to my winning trades. If I could keep them the same, you know, cents per share, so if I keep them around 10 or 15 cents per share, as well as my winners being around 10 or 15 cents per share, then I'll be profitable based on my accuracy being over 50%, so around 60-65%, then, you know, that would be ideal. That was it for May. So Monday's a holiday, so won't be trading on Monday, and I've got 4 days left in the month to see if I can get some more green days. And realistically, unless I get a really decent trade, the month of May will be another red month. Yeah, just the way I'm trading at the moment and how I'm trading, I'm not going to probably make the drawdown for the month up. So I'd have to make over $160 to get in the green for the month. And that was probably achievable if I didn't have that loss this week on Tuesday, having that drawdown of 41.91. If that had been a green day, then possibly I could have got green on the month. But that's what it is, and you know, it's just moving forward and getting better at controlling my losses, and you know, being disciplined on my trades, and just taking my setup and on the right stocks. So confidence was there today, but the setups weren't easy. That red trade on BCTX was avoidable, and if I'd stayed out, this would have been a solid green day. Happy with my entries overall and the patience I showed on a slow day. Still learning to step back when it's not working though. I really appreciate you being here and, you know, following the journey. You know, every day is a lesson. If you're enjoying the real, unfiltered look at the day trading grind, drop a like, comment below with how your day went, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next one. I'll see you next week. Hei te rā wiki.